Welcome back to another episode of the BGBI podcast. You join me and my good friend Oscar over here for a little bit of an evening chat, as always. If you've seen episodes before, you know what this kind of thing is, but just to kind of fill you in again, we start off with a bit of a chinwag, what we've been up to, what's going on. Move into a bit of a story time, which is what we're here for, a bit of the dark side of the road.
We love it.
Some sinister stories on some things you may or may have not have heard of before, shining some light on it. And we'll discuss things for a bit, and then afterwards we'll head over and review a beer. So,
Arguably our favourite part.
I say the reason why we do this is for the story. The reason why we do this is so we can drink a beer afterwards, and it's like deemed okay.
An evening, weekday beer.
Yeah.
Nothing beats it, does it?
Yeah.
So obviously we start off the segment, as you mentioned, with what we've been up to, a little bit of a chinwag. Do you want to let us know the first thing that you found when just having a little bit of a around the world?
Yeah. So I went on the internet the other day and I found this.
Whoa, the internet.
Bentley. We all know
Yes,
Bentley.
we all know and love Bentley.
Very well known for their massive engines, smooth luxury.
Mm.
They're tapping into the
Absolutely.
EV market now.
Oh, is it going to be another Jaguar-esque?
I don't know. I mean, it's all things to be considered. Some people think it's some way, some people think it's the other way. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully not.
No, well, they better pull it off.
Yeah, well, I mean, the name alone, it's called the Tour Cow.
Okay. And how is that spelled?
A cow on tour.
Tour cow.
I can't remember. I just remember it's pronounced Tour Cow.
Tour cow.
That
Cool.
was funny to me.
Tour cow. I wonder what the significance is behind the name. What could that possibly even mean?
Well, I feel like Bentley have very prowess names, don't they?
Yeah.
They've got the Phantom. They've got the
Continental.
Continental GT.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of thought into their names, whereas other places you get the A1, A3, A4, A5.
Yes.
Not very imaginative. I think I like what Bentley do with the naming system, but Tour Cow feels a little bit left field for me. But I feel like being an EV, that might be what
it
they
might
go
work. Maybe it's Latin or I don't know, something else.
with.
No idea. We have no idea. But we're interested to see.
Yeah, and it's coming up soon because September 2026, so not long at all,
Wow.
is when they're going to be debuting it, and then hopefully onto 2027 that they'll start moving things forward with it. So
a little bit of a manufacturing line.
well, maybe we'll have more to talk about it in very, very short amount of time.
Yeah, that's true. It's rolling around quick, isn't it? I mean, months are flying by.
Yeah,
literally flying by. That's really interesting. Really interesting to see that, and I'm sure we're both excited to see what that'll bring.
And also homegrown as well. It's in Crewe that it's going to be. So I want to say it's not too far, but not too far in terms of it's not another country.
Yeah,
it's as far away in our own country.
It's not a Chinese EV. It's being pumped out, mass produced onto the streets.
That's important. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that I don't think there's any information on price yet, is there? But I'm assuming it'll be very expensive.
Yeah, EVs alone, even if they are Chinese, are quite a lot. Add on to the fact that it's got that big B on the bonnet.
Made in England. Yeah, no, that's really fascinating, actually. I mean, I'm really intrigued to see how this will turn out. I wonder if it is going to be just another...
It could go one of two ways. It could go, it's prestigious luxury Bentley, or it could be like quite a lot of the other Bentleys, which is just a VW Passat with a skirt on.
Yeah, no, it could be. Or it going on the same vein as the Ferrari Lute, which we spoke about in a previous episode, and the Jaguar, which was flop, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like you let the designers run away with it too much. You need to like let the engineers hold it back a bit. I mean, again, similar to the DeLorean story that we were going on with. The design was very nice, but the engineering side let it down.
Yeah, exactly, a bit of a letdown. So just a quick something from me, as we know, as we've been speaking about through a couple of these episodes. We touched on the World Cup, didn't we? Just here and there, but as of recording now, England
have won.
Played astonishingly well against Mexico, in which we had a 3-2 win, and obviously bringing that news in as well for any maybe foreign listeners that are not following the World Cup. I mean, there's a ridiculous amount of people following it, as I'll speak about here. So 3-2 win. 9.1 million people stayed up to watch.
1.9 million.
9.1 million.
Oh, 9.1 million. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I got it mixed up there.
9.1 million people stayed up to watch. Can you
Oh my
believe
God.
that?
I mean,
That is
percentage of the
ridiculous.
population being like 60 something million in England.
Yeah, I think it's we might be at 70 million now actually.
Yeah.
So a large portion, and that's not including. You can't go around and survey people that did it in group
Did
sittings,
you watch
can
the
you?
game?
So if you say that like 3 people were to that as well, you've got 21 million or 27 million. Whoa, 27 million people sat around watching it. And there was massive. I saw massive gatherings on the street of people watching it in the street. So probably most of the UK stayed up to watch that game.
Yeah.
Really wouldn't surprise me, unless someone's working in the centre of London in a finance office and has no time to themselves. Then
Just didn't sleep for one night, firmed it just for the World Cup. I mean, I
Yeah,
know
exactly.
people that did. I went to work as normal,
Mm.
woke up at 5, 6 in the morning to go to work and turn up to work, and a couple of them have watched the game, not slept, and
I'm just going straight to
brought
work.
energy drinks to kind of deal with it.
And I'm surprised that you getting up so like as early as you did. You could probably caught the last 20 minutes of the game.
I just went in work and asked him what the score was. That's what I did.
Exactly. No, fantastic. Yeah, that's all from me today.
Well, I mean, linking on to that
Hmm.
as well, have you heard about the pint prices since,
Wow.
I mean, would have been 4 years ago, the other World Cup?
Yeah, 2022 Qatar World Cup.
Yeah, since then, there's a 30, 40, like 36, 35%, I'm going to say 35,
Mm.
35% rise in the pint prices
That's ridiculous.
in a 4-year span. I mean, obviously, in that time, we've had like a lot of economical problems.
Oh, living in the UK, yes,
Yeah.
bound to. Yeah.
So I feel like that's partly to do with it, but also at the same time, World Cup comes, a lot of pubs find it very easy, well, very positive for themselves to put the prices up a little bit because they know people are going to have a drink with the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely as well. But then also pubs are being hammered as well, aren't they? In terms of a lot of them are shutting. But damn, I'd
that's
really
like,
just maybe
yeah.
we should start measuring inflation by the pint of a price.
Yeah.
By the price of a pint.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean
if I get
that
my
you
words
normally
right.
see that when you're booking a holiday. It's like how much is the average pint of a price? That's
Yeah.
the same.
It was a tongue
Average
twister.
price of a pint. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Well, sorry, if it's €2 and below, I think we'll take the holiday.
Yeah.
So just moving on to the main chunk of this episode now,
Yeah.
just to give a brief introduction, we're doing quite a historic moment in F1 motorsport as a holding. As a whole. I'm sure you'll be familiar with this. Maybe you might not know it in as much detail, but by the end of the episode, you certainly will. We're going to be talking today about the Senna crash.
Oh, right, yeah.
You familiar with Senna?
Very poignant thing in motorsport. I mean, he is still known to this day as one of the greats, if not the great.
Yeah, of all time.
I feel like people like Hamilton and Verstappen are kind of reaching that level and probably are a lot better than him. But as a looking back in history about how good some drivers were, I mean, the cars back then were a lot harder to handle.
Yeah.
So his skill level was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So as we normally do with all of our Dark Side of the Road stories, bar last week because we did our own stories last week. This one and of the many others that we do, we bring in a cast of the characters, just so people are familiar with who's going to be spoken about in here. Just a little bit of backstory on each one. So we'll start off with the main character of this true to life story. Ayrton Senna.
Yep.
You're familiar with him. He was born in Sao Paulo in Brazil on the 21st of March 1960. 3-time world champion 1988, 1990, and 1991. All of those wins were with McLaren, and as we later find out, he goes to Williams. I'm sure you probably know that as well. He goes to Williams. He was rated as the best driver of all time by a lot of his peers at the time. And sadly, he died on the 1st of May 1994, aged just 34. So very young, very young. Next character we speak about is Roland Ratzenberger, born in Salzburg, Austria, 4th of July 1960. 3.5 months after Senna, so relatively close in age. Came from no money, no backing, very humble, very, very humble beginnings, and worked his way up.
You don't get that anymore in F1.
Exactly. And then he died on the 30th of April 1994 with one Grand Prix start.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's massive names, and these people were extremely well known at the time. The next character is Rubens Barrichello, 21-year-old Brazilian Jordan. He was Senna's protege, so dubbed at the time. And the second in the championship, arriving at Imola, he survived a 95G crash. 95G. Can you believe that? That's ridiculous.
That's a hefty shunt to the tyre wall or concrete wall, whatever it was.
Concrete wall, yeah. And he carried Senna's coffin 6 days after Senna's death. Professor Sid Watkins was F1's chief doctor, renowned London neurosurgeon. So obviously some extremely good credentials, and Senna's close friend. Michael Schumacher, as you know, as we probably all know,
another one of the greats.
He was at the time 25-year-old Benetton driver. Won the first 2 races in 1994 and won at Imola, and went on to his first world title that year. Got a couple more to rattle off here. Frank Williams, ring any bells?
Well, part of the Williams, or is Mr. Williams?
Williams, yeah, team founder and boss. He was charged with manslaughter over Senna's death, and he was acquitted in 1997. And he later died in 2021, so relatively recent, in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Patrick Head and Adrian Newey, Williams' technical director and chief designer, both charged and both were acquitted in the 1997 case. Damon Hill, Senna's Williams teammate that weekend. Max Mosley, FIA president, and he drove the post-Imola safety revolution for the F1 cars and F1 drivers. And then finally, Nicola Larini, Ferrari stand-in for the injured Gianelisi, finished second on the day and the only podium of his career. He's called it a nightmare, and there was no joy in it. Obviously, as you would on a race day, race weekend, where something as significant as that happens, you can't really celebrate.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
So a little bit about the gear, a little bit about the car, as we both know. We like a little bit of the car side of things. That's the whole reason we have the channel and have the podcast.
We do, yes.
So we bring in the car, which is the Williams FW16. Have you heard of this car at all before, or are you new to this?
Well, I know of that era of car. I don't know the specific car names and the different eras, but I do remember that era of car. I think, if I remember rightly, was that the Marlboro red and white McLaren?
Oh, it might be. I'm not too good on the images side, but we can get onto the engine, which we'll be more familiar with, rather than the artsy side of it. So at the time, this would have been sort of the best seat in motorsport to be with Williams. They absolutely dominated 1992 and 1993, like hands down. They were absolutely smashing it. And Senna had chased this drive for years, and he finally got it in 1994. 1994, of course, the year of his death. Now, this is a really interesting car. So Senna ran car number 2, and Hill ran car number 0. Don't know how that works. The design team, as mentioned before, Patrick Head and Adrian Newey. The engine, I'd like you to guess, and I'll cover this here so you can't see it. I'd like you to guess what kind of engine this car had in it.
Thinking back in the day,
brilliant sounding engine.
I feel like, cause, some things I know about that era and that car, and some things I don't. But I want to say that was back in when they just tried to stick as many cylinders on as they could. And I want to say it was V12 era.
No, close. It was a Renault 3.5 litre V10.
V10, yeah.
Had 0 driver aids, so none. No active suspension, no traction control, no ABS. They were all banned in 1994.
Yep.
What do you think? Ooh, is that a good idea? Is that really a good idea? And then, so Ratzenberger is all I want to talk about him, because obviously he passed away, unfortunately, in this as well. He drove a Simtek S941. This is a brand new Minnow team run by Nick Worth. I don't know how it's spelled really weird. It's W-I-R-T-H. Worth. It was his first season. So we go into the circuit as well. You might know this as well. Autodroma Enza e Dino Ferrari, Imola, which is old school circuit. And there was this corner specifically I'll talk about here. It's called the Tamburello. It was a flat-out left-hand curve taken usually at around 190 miles an hour. And there was a concrete wall directly in front of it, which we'll get onto in a little bit. The corner had, claimed a few victims for not deaths, but it certainly claimed a few injuries on the track. Nelson Piquet crashed hugely there in 1987. Gerard Berger, a Ferrari, burst into flames there in 1989, and both survived, but the wall was never moved. So you start to question it. You start to think, oh, is there some kind of something going on here? Maybe they should replace it with a tie wall or a big, massive net and parachute. I certainly would have done back in the day. So following the usual format that you know and love, and the viewers, listeners, hopefully know and love now, so we go through it in different acts, separate out into usually 6 or 7 acts, just so we can follow a nice chronological timeline of how things work and how things were. Especially because we tend to cover quite a lot of older stories during these podcasts, because there's a lot of history around motorsport maybe a lot of people aren't aware of. Granted, this one is going to be a lot more famous because it was so high profile at the time, but we bring it to light. We have a little bit of debate around it and enjoy the stories and pay respects to any victims, etc., who have been in the accidents or anything in the stories at all. So we begin with Act 1. This one is just going to be a little bit of background on Ayrton Senna himself. So as mentioned before, he was born in 21st of March 1916, Sao Paulo in Brazil, to a wealthy family. You see that a lot in F1. You really do see a lot of wealthy families. He had his first miniature go-kart at age 4. I mean, I would
4 years of age.
I would have loved one of them. Yeah, so he was definitely building. It's like giving a newborn a football. Just expect him to get on with it.
What's it called? The Mbappe project or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Mbappe project, the Senna project. He won his first kart race at 13. He moved to Britain in his early 20s and was absolutely flying through a lot of the junior ranks at the time. So this is obviously, you can see something start to. Someone's scouting him out. They're going to be like, "Whoa, this guy's incredible!" At such a young age as well. He made his F1 debut in 1984, and then was with Lotus maybe in 1985 to 1987. And he had his first win at Estoril in 1985 in torrential rain and lapping almost everyone.
Gosh, he's good in the rain then.
Yeah, he's good in the rain. That's raw talent. That is raw
Lorraine,
talent.
hardly know her.
Rain became his signature, apparently. I didn't know that until doing a bit of research for this as well. Went on to McLaren, 1988 to 93. This is probably his golden years, some would say. He was world champion, as mentioned before, 1988, 1990, and 1991. On the other side of him, this is just going a bit more into his personal life, a bit more into who he was with his family, with the rest of the world, what his relationships like. He was deeply religious,
right,
and was intensely private about his charity. As we'll get on to a little bit later, at the end of the story, we'll speak about some of the donations that he made secretly that people didn't know about.
Okay, so he's a nice charitable man.
Yeah, exactly. And then during, I think it was 1992, there was a vehicle that crashed on the circuit that he was racing on as well, and he actually stopped and pulled over and went to check the other driver was all right.
Yeah.
And ran across a live track to get to it. So that's
which is a big no-no, but what a hero.
Yeah, exactly. So it's crazy. And then finally getting on to 1993, just a year before his death, he had won 3 titles, 41 wins in total, and 65 poles. So that's a pretty well-established driver at 30, 33, 34 years old. 33, 34, 33, 34. 45. And then in 1994, he finally got the Williams seat, which was dominating racing. Those past that year and the year before.
Yeah.
So it looked like Senna would be going for the title, winning with Williams itself. If all things were to play out perfectly, as we know, they unfortunately do not. Now, Act 2 will bring in the grafter. So someone on another end of the spectrum who also died around this era. This guy is Roland Ratzenberger. He was born in Salzburg, Austria, as I mentioned earlier, 4th of July 1960, 3.5 months after Senna. He was from very humble beginnings. He had no family money, no backing, and started in Formula Ford at 23 years old.
23.
So he's a year older than both of us.
Yeah, so we've still got time.
We've still got time. Maybe, yeah. It's like a Jamie Vardy story, isn't it? Starting really late, non-league. On his CV, he knocked 2 years off his age
Oh, right.
to appear 21, to look younger to teams and sponsors. He funded his own career by working as a mechanic, a lot like our friend Adam. Maybe he could be an adrenaline junkie F1 driver. So he was working as a mechanic for other drivers and instructing at racing schools at the same time as well. He later went on to win the prestigious Formula Ford Festival at Brands Hatch in 1986 and spent years grinding F3 touring cars in Japan.
Right, yeah.
5 starts at Le Mans. You familiar with Le Mans?
Le Mans, 24-hour Le Mans.
Le Mans, yeah, Le Mans. Not to be confused with lemon. And he finished 5th overall in 1993.
Wow.
And he was very, very well respected everywhere he raced. Especially, I mean, if people knew his beginnings and how humble they were.
His path to where he is.
Exactly. It's just a series of real hard work. Finally, in 1994, he came to a 5-race deal with Simtech and a brand new team run by Nick Roth, an F1 rookie at 33 years old.
33.
Yeah.
So quite late on. I mean, you normally see, I think we've touched on before, but the F1 grid nowadays is a lot of, like, you could argue rich kids, because in terms of racing, you want to be as light as possible. In terms of getting yourself in the seat, you need to be as rich as possible. So therefore,
Yeah.
rich kids kind of get the seat a lot better
Yeah.
than others.
No, absolutely.
And you get Mr. Berger over here that can kind of just get to that position by working hard for it. I mean, the path that he took
It's an
was
incredible story, isn't
pretty
it?
good story to tell.
Rags to
kind of
riches. It's kind of like, you
work
know,
himself up the ranks.
like you have Ronaldo coming from really humble origins and then eventually coming to be one of the best in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Ratzenberger played a very good career, I would say. So initially, going into the 1994 year, he failed to qualify in Brazil, and then in Japan he qualified and finished 11th.
Right.
Which is not bad. You know, you're getting up there. I mean, for
Middle of
his
the grid.
Yeah, exactly. His first and only Grand Prix finish after 15 years, he looked like he finally made it to the seat that he needed, to the track that he wanted to be on. So let's move on to Act 3. Okay.
Right.
Friday, 29th of April, the warning. So Friday afternoon, Barrichello, 21, second in the championship, pushing hard in the Jordan.
The Jordan.
Yeah, the Jordan. Very Basse, a fraction too much speed. He I'm losing my words here. He went onto the curb at around 225 kilometers an hour, 140 miles an hour for those British US measurements. The car launched shoulder high into the top of the tyre barrier.
Wow. Which I don't think a tyre barrier will be that tall.
No, you wouldn't. The impact registered around 95 Gs. And just for context, pilots pulling loops, etc., barrel rolls are pulling up to about 10 Gs for a few seconds at a time, so 95 Gs.
And a few extra seconds of 10G can send you into or hypoxia it's called, where you lose oxygen in the brain.
Yeah, you just pass out.
Yeah, and you sleep.
So obviously we know what the result of this would be. He was knocked out cold, as you would expect. His tongue blocked his airway. Emergency work led by Professor Sid Watkins, as we mentioned earlier. At the scene saved his life, as you'd expect someone in the medical profession to do. He woke up in a medical centre, and the first face that he saw was Senna.
Right.
So he'd obviously come to see how he was getting on.
Yeah.
And that's coming from Barrichello himself. So the damage to the human.
Yeah.
A broken nose and injured arm. Airlifted to hospital, kept in overnight. Out of the weekend, obviously, as you expect, he wouldn't be racing.
Sorry, was that a nose and an arm?
Yes.
That's all that 90G can do.
95 Gs, yeah.
You would have thought it'd be more than that, like destroyed ribs and death. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, he really got away with that one.
Lucky, yeah, extremely lucky. So, relief and reassurance. Hill later wrote to the drivers, felt that they could be shaken but not hurt in these cars.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of going to, these drivers, they've got a set of steel bollocks on them.
They're fine.
Yeah, they'll just get over it. that belief, obviously, as we know, and we eventually come to learn that weekend only had 24 hours left to live, because that's when it all gets turned upside down on its head. Very, very scary couple of events. Saturday, 30th of April, Act 4. So I start to delve a little bit deeper and where it can get really interesting. So in the morning, Barrichello was discharged, visited the paddock, and told Senna he'd watched the race on TV and flew home. Final qualifying, 18 minutes in, Ratzenberger is fighting for the last spot on the grid. And so you can imagine being in that position, you're pushing it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely hammering it. But this comes a cruel component here. A time he'd already set earlier in the session would have been enough to qualify him already.
All right.
So maybe needlessly pushing it.
Yeah.
On his previous lap, he'd run off the road and over a curb. This was believed to have damaged his front wing. Fighting for his place, he stayed out for one more flying lap instead of pitting. And this is what we know to be a crucial mistake here. Approaching the flat out Villeneuve corner at over 300 kilometers an hour, the wing failed and went under the car. The front lifted, and of course with this went the steering as well.
Yeah.
The Syntex speared almost head on into bare concrete wall. So you can imagine that's not going to be a very good ending at all. He suffered absolutely catastrophic injuries, including a basilar skull fracture. And I had to Google what is basilar skull fracture. It's the base of the skull, so just behind the ear.
Wow, yeah.
You can imagine that. No, anything to do with the head is going to be
back of
no
the head
good.
as well.
And he was pronounced dead on arrival at Maggiore Hospital in Bologna.
Wow. Yeah.
He was the first driver killed at the Grand Prix weekend in 12 years, so first driver. Since Riccardo Paletti in Canada in 1982, and he was the first to die in an F1 car since Elio De Angelis in 1986. Just moving on from this slightly onto seeing how this worked and interlinked with the other drivers. Senna commandeered an official course car to reach the scene and inspect Rex Simtech. In the medical centre, Watkins told him Roland was dead. By Watkins' own account, Senna, who had never lost a colleague at a circuit, broke down and cried on his shoulder. So you've got this emotion playing with you. You've got this notorious tracks that are playing havoc with the drivers, injuring people, maiming people, or killing people.
Yeah.
But it's scary, and this is where people come in and say, should you be driving at all? Watkins urged Senna to walk away from sport altogether. They could quit and go fishing together. Senna's reply per Watkins' memoir is, "I cannot quit. I have to go on."
I have to go on, he says.
Yeah, I have to go on after realising that these people are dying. This is getting extremely serious. This isn't a game of driving anymore. This is a game of life and death. Williams and Benetton withdrew from the rest of the qualifying out of respect, and Senna set no Saturday time. His Friday lap stood as his pole position. Now, moving on to the next part.
But just quickly, I'll just say, I think for Senna, it's more of a sport than, because obviously there's an element of competition, an element of sport in it as well, like the sportsmanship, that kind of thing. And for some of the drivers, it's all about competition. It's all about trying to be the best, get the sponsorships, get the money, get the lifestyle, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Also, because who's not competitive? They're trying to get the best. They're trying to push for the best,
especially at that level.
Yeah, definitely at that top level. But I think for Senna, it's more of like a sport to him, sort of thing, where everyone's just having fun. And I think that's why he's got a bit more emotion, because it's like, look, we're all doing the best we can. We're all on the edge. We all know the dangers, but don't kill yourself, mate. Don't not kill yourself. Don't overdo it and kind of bring harm to yourself or any others, sort of thing.
Exactly.
So you seem like that kind of person.
Yeah, definitely. From our personal impressions, that's what I got as well. From looking into this when we initially researched it. So let's move on to act number 5, Sunday the 1st of May, which is race day. Now this is the tragic part for Senna as well. Obviously we had the Ratzenberger death, and now we move on to where it gets really difficult for Senna et al. So morning, he's driving with an onboard camera for French TV. I mean, you're trying to include the viewers as much as possible. Right, we know from doing YouTube as well, you want to try and give the best visual experience. Yeah, exactly. So At the drivers' briefing, the drivers agreed to reform the Grand Prix Drivers Association, which was dormant since 1982, with Senna, Berger, and Schumacher as its first directors, and the first meeting planned for Monaco. So, Monaco happens every year, doesn't it? So you can get onto that, which they thought they would. And Senna, the senior man at this stage in life, because Schumacher was 24 years old. He was really young at the time. Senna would lead on the safety briefing side of it.
Right, yeah. Seems sensible enough.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 p.m, Lato stalls near the front. Lamy unsighted, hits Benetton almost flat out. Wheels and debris clear the fencing. Around 9 people in the crowd suffer minor injuries. Both drivers walk away, fortunately.
Okay.
No red flag. Instead, 5 laps behind the safety car, road-going Opel Vectra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Not quite Vauxhall, but still.
Exactly. It was slow, and tyre temperatures and pressures fell behind it. Obviously, as you expect, you need to be going fast to keep those F1 tyres warm. That's just how high-functioning cars work.
Yeah.
And without them, we can't say because we've never driven them, but we can imagine it's like driving on roller skates.
I was going to say the operating temperature's a lot higher than just pulsing around at Vectra speed.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably what, like,
that thing will explode at the F1 speed.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously behind this Opel Vectra, you're going really slow. The car isn't being able to function at the kind of paces that it was engineered for in the first place. So lap 6 restart, Senna leads Schumacher, and we get onto lap 7 at 2:17 p.m. at the Tamburello corner, as previously mentioned at the start. Senna's car leaves the road at around 306 kilometers an hour, 190 miles an hour, runs straight on and strikes a concrete wall at around 211 kilometers per hour, or 131 miles per hour in freedom units. The data showed him braking hard in the final moments, so obviously you can tell. It's like when pilots in a black box, you can hear them screaming over the black box, pulling up, etc. It had that effect. And this is literally how it went down. The right front wheel and its suspension were thrown back at the cockpit as he struck the wall, and this then consequently struck his head. Part of the assembly pierced his helmet. So don't have the exact element here, but it's part of the suspension that went back, pierced the helmet. Just before as well, his onboard camera had been live on the world feed earlier in the lap, and the TV director switched away moments before impact, so the final seconds were never broadcast or recorded, which is fortunate for the public, obviously, but also it could have been really useful in the further investigation and also the lawsuits that come later
but I
on.
guess the broadcasting engineer kind of saw him leaving the track and just pulled the plug on it there and then to stop the impending broadcast of something that no one really wants to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good, really, but like you say, it leaves us without data. But who needs data?
Yeah, exactly.
You're rather the privacy than the data, really.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So Watkins, as we mentioned earlier, his close friend as well, reached him within minutes. Trackside emergency treatment, including a tracheotomy. Tracheotomy, you familiar with those?
Well, trachea being like lungs. That's about as far as I know with it.
Tracheotomy, so it's just where they pierce your breathing hole so that you can breathe.
Yeah.
If your airways obstructed, etc. He was then airlifted to Maggiore Hospital, and he was a third driver flown to hospital from this circuit in 3 days.
Wow, yeah.
So is it the circuit? Is it the cars? Is it the drivers?
Seems like there's a pattern emerging. That's the thing.
Exactly. So in the wreckage as well, officials found a furled Austrian flag. Senna had planned to raise it after the race for Roland Ratzenberger, who had died.
Oh, wow.
Before.
Oh, that's really sad.
That is a really gut-wrenching detail.
Obviously, the sadness of deaths and all that. That's even further because you could tell that he wanted to kind of race for that person. Well, race for Mr. Berger, but he didn't quite get there. Didn't do what he wanted to do.
Exactly. It is a really sad detail, and it kind of like, it's heart-wrenching. It's like someone stabs you in the heart. It's like, oh my god. And can you believe it? The race restarted roughly 40 minutes later.
Restarted it?
Yeah. Berger led briefly, then retired, and Schumacher controlled it and won from Larini and Hakkinen. Later on in the race, or late in the race, Alboreto. I'm just trying to get these names right. There's a lot of funky names in F1, as you know. Alboreto Minardi shed its right wheel, leaving the pits. 4 mechanics, 2 from Ferrari and 2 from Lotus, were hurt and needed hospital treatment.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it seems like it's like an episode of what that film where everything goes wrong.
The film where everything goes wrong.
Exactly. It's like that. But out of respect, once the race had finished, on the podium there was no champagne. Schumacher said afterwards he could feel neither satisfied nor happy, and only that the sport had to learn from this.
Yeah, because there's nothing but loss after that. It's sort of like, I don't know, any kind of loss. Obviously, even the good things that you wanted to do beforehand. Maybe, like say, if you won a race that you really wanted to win, or I don't know, you got a job that you really wanted. If you haven't got someone to celebrate with, then it's kind of empty, isn't it? So that's probably how they all felt.
Exactly. And so we go to Maggiore Hospital in the evening, and Dr. Maria Teresa Fiandri announced that Ayrton Senna was dead, and he was just 34 years old.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, a really, really harrowing experience for the whole world of racing. And a BBC commentator, Murray Walker, at the time called it the blackest day for Grand Prix racing that I can remember. So really, really, what's the word beginning with P?
Poignant.
Yeah. Now, Act 6, we get onto the morning side of it. Everyone in F1 is devastated. Brazil as a country is devastated. They've lost one of their most famous, influential sports people of all time. And the world is just mourning the loss of someone so young and prominent within the racing sphere. So, some facts you may not know. Brazil declared 3 days of national mourning.
Oh, right.
So this is going along the lines as if someone from royalty, as we get in the UK, or someone from really high up, high-ranking official or prime ministers get in the UK. Senna's coffin flew home and was carried into Sao Paulo on a fire engine. On the 5th of May, he had a state funeral. So again, this is like what people like Churchill had, equivalent of the UK, or the Queen and the King. Hundreds of thousands lined the street, and some estimates even run into the millions.
Right, yeah.
So
that shows how much he was followed and how much he was liked.
He lay in state at the State Legislative Assembly, and a 21-gun salute was fired.
Well, yeah.
And then there was Air Force jets flew over the procession in a diamond formation, much as you get at 4th of July celebrations, etc. in the US. 6 days after his own crash, his rivals from the grid were carrying his coffin as pallbearers. And the names I have down here were Prost, Berger, Damon Hill, Emerson, Fittipaldi, Johnny Herbert, and Barrichello. As you know, Barrichello from earlier. He was buried at Morumbi Cemetery in Sao Paulo, and his gravestone reads, "Nothing can separate me from the love of God," Romans 8. Sid Watkins could not face attending. So, the doctor, his friend. And you can imagine, especially if you're at the scene and you had to treat a patient who was also your best friend, and you saw the devastation that it caused on the human itself, that could be enough to put anyone off.
Oh yeah.
Totally understandable from his point of view. 2 days later, on the 7th of May, in Salzburg, it was Roland Ratzenberger's funeral. Most of the sport was in Brazil, as you can imagine, for Senna's funeral. But it also leaves the question of who's going to go to Ratzenberger's funeral. We need someone to go there as well. And that's where FIA president Max Mosley went to Salzburg instead. And 10 years later, he explained why, saying everyone had gone to Senna's, and I thought it was important that somebody went to his.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very valid point to come from.
Yeah, because obviously you'd probably want to go to Senna's, but given that everyone and their nan is over in Brazil, mourning the loss of Senna, I guess, like he says, if there's not many people in Austria, then we've got a friend.
We've got a friend on.
If there's not many people giving the same kind of thing over in Austria, then it's only fair to kind of pay respects there as well.
No, absolutely. And I'm sure there was a lot of people that were there, especially friends and family of Roland Ratzenberger himself. Move on to the final act, Act 7. And as we always start to Act 7, the reckoning, this is when
Yeah.
pieces are put together,
What's been
investigations
left, yeah.
are thrown, and what are these knock-on effects for the sport of F1 itself,
Yeah.
from both the Ratzenberger incident and the Senna incident as well. So under Italian law, a death like this triggers a criminal investigation. The prosecution put its case forward. The modified re-welded steering column fatigued and snapped, leaving Senna a passenger. That's what their case was.
Right, yeah.
And the defense saying the column broke in the impact, not before it. And there was other explanations that existed for this as well. The defense put forward saying cold tires after the safety car, the bumps at Tamburello, debris on the road, or driver error. So it seems they have a lot of points to pick from for the defense case here. December 1997, the verdict comes. All 6 are acquitted. So there was no criminal proceedings that passed against the 6.
Yeah.
November 1999, the appeal court upheld the acquittals of Head and Nui. So again, it's not going any further.
Yeah.
January 2003, Italy's Supreme Court reopened the case, citing errors in the appeal process.
Oh, right.
27th of May 2005, Nui fully and definitively acquitted, and Head's case ruled timed out. Italy's 7.5-year statute of limitations had long passed since the death, which occurred in 1994, and the case in 1997. 13th of April 2007, with the final ruling, the Court of Cassation. The crash was caused by steering column failure arising from modification it called badly designed and badly executed. So they're coming back on the decision here.
Yeah.
With responsibility attributed to Patrick Head, but the case was time barred, no conviction, and no sentence.
Yeah.
And Head himself had always maintained his innocence relating to this incident as well. Nobody was ever convicted of anything over Ayrton Senna's death, and the true case and the true cause is still argued by people alike today. So, where does it leave us with safety revolution? What kind of impacts does this have for the sport of F1 itself? Within days, the FIA announced emergency measures for Monaco, including controls on pit lane speeds. Obviously, we had those mechanics injured with the bits of the car falling off. Through 1994, downforce slashed, holes cut into airboxes to cut power, as we expect. And as they get on, F1 cars are now extremely safe.
Yeah.
Front wings raised, cockpit sides raised, wooden skid plank under the cars from mid-season, and permanent pit lane speed limit.
Yeah.
All crucial to the safety of crew and driver.
Part of that is obviously safety in the car, but also slowing them down. Because I think a problem back then was people were revolutionizing the aerodynamics of the car because they're just starting to realize that that's important, or super important for like how you can harness the power of the wind you're going past you. But they were almost taking it too far with skirts and big wings and almost turbines that would blow air through the aerodynamics, making it stupidly quick in corners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, like a failure like that, or a skid on the tires because of loss of grip, and straight into a wall you go. So
absolutely,
slow those cars down. It's the
best way to.
Too dangerous to go too fast.
Exactly. Watkins was put in charge of new FIA expert safety group. This was the start of a safety as a permanent science in F1, which you'd like it to be, of course, in any situation. At Monaco, 2 weeks later, after the deaths, the front 2 grid slots were left empty and painted with the Brazilian and Austrian flags, which is a nice touch for the drivers. So we go on to 2003 here. The Hans head and neck device designed against exactly the injury that killed Ratzenberger became mandatory. Have you heard of that device before? The Hans head and neck device.
Oh, the behind the helmet.
Yeah, it's like the thing.
Yeah,
they wear,
yeah. You see them a lot in.
Exactly.
F1, yeah.
And the result of this, you may ask, no driver died at the Grand Prix for 20 years until Jules Bianchi's crash at Suzuka in October 2014, and he died in July 2015. And a bit about the legacy as well of Senna, just touch on it as well because it's important to, this guy was a fantastic driver and a fantastic human being as well. After his death, it emerged Senna had quietly given millions to children's causes in Brazil.
Right.
His charity. His sister Vivian founded the Instituto Ayrton Senna in 1994. And at Imola today, a bronze statue of Senna overlooks the park at Tamburello, obviously the infamous corner. And fans still leave flags on the fence to the day.
Yeah.
So nice touching and
shows how well loved he still is. even by
Yeah.
generations that weren't alive when he was.
I mean, exactly, because he was only born in 1960, so he'd only be, 66 today?
Yeah.
No, 56. No,
66,
66.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And Roland, of course, left a lasting impact of safety with the hands device strapped to every driver's shoulders, and every race, you could say, is his monument.
Yeah.
And he just played a crucial part in the safety of F1 drivers. And obviously, we get to ask the questions of, without these unfortunate deaths, would we have the safety precautions we have today?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah. Sometimes improvement comes from, I guess, bad things.
Hmm,
You've got to, it takes a really bad thing to happen for you to step back and realize what needs to be done and what needs to be done now.
absolutely.
Obviously, there are simulations and stuff you can do to make things safer, like cars out there nowadays. Go through loads of simulations, and testing to make sure they're okay. But kind of to bring to reality how things actually are in the real world, it could take a case like this
Yeah,
to bring
to
that
make
kind
it
of improvement.
so prominent. Right. That brings us to the end of the Ayrton Senna's legacy and Roland Ratzenberger. What is your honest reflection straight after hearing the stories? What do you think? What's crossing your mind right now?
Honest reflection. I mean, it's F1. They're driving on the very edge of what they can do. Their ability, the ability of the car. I feel like they're going to the sport knowing the danger.
Hmm.
Not to say that it was like, oh, the crash was bound to happen, but they've got to be super skilled to like harness the power of these cars and do what they do. And he was the one of the best, if not the best, at what he did at that time.
Yeah, even
Um,
to this day, still
yeah,
classified as the best driver.
yeah. But even so, it shows how dangerous, especially back then, the sport was.
Hmm.
Almost to a level where it was too dangerous. I mean, that track specifically, the fact that there was 3 deaths in a matter of days.
3 hospital visits in 3 days.
Hospital visits, yeah. Because of that track and probably because of that concrete wall. I mean, we were just saying as you were telling the story that the fact that it was the concrete wall, maybe do something about that. Maybe put a bloody tyre in front of it. That'll be all right.
Yeah. Net or something.
But obviously, there's other factors like we said, the aerodynamics and how quick the cars are going. That's another factor. I mean, a concrete wall is just a concrete wall if you're not going to be going 200 miles an hour towards it.
Yeah, if you went into it at 10 miles an hour, it's significantly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
The outcome.
Well, not in a Ford Pinto, you'll still die.
Yeah, if you reverse into it in a Ford Pinto, yeah.
But yeah, so I guess one argument would be the fact that it's F1, it's dangerous, this stuff happens. Obviously, it's really unfortunate, but the fact that it's a dangerous sport, it's an extreme sport, everyone knows that. The other argument would be that concrete wall needed to be sorted out, obviously. Safety regulations with cars should have been more, because they put these safety regs on afterwards. Maybe the pit speed should have been slower in the first hand.
Yeah.
Different bits like that. So I mean, there's arguments for different directions there about what caused it.
So that's a good hot take straight off the press. That take.
Yeah.
So, now, as we always do, we like to have a little debate, bring up some debate points. After your reaction, the first point I'll bring to you, and I know you love these. Should Sunday's race ever have started after Saturday, and should it have been stopped for good after Senna's crash? And would either happen in today's scenario?
I think it's one of those things because it's the weekend, and I mean, as we've said before, it's hard to put a conversion on human life or life in general and monetary gain, because the weekend's going forward. The death happened on the Saturday, Friday, and then they went forward with it, probably purely because of the planning and all the rest of it that goes into a racing weekend. It can't really be stopped.
Yeah.
Obviously, in a perfect world, it would be stopped. Everyone would pay tribute and kind of take the day off. And maybe the circuit would be closed down for a bit to make it a bit safer. But the amount of planning that goes into a weekend, maybe the amount of money that's in it. You know, if the money's got enough power, then it can just overrun it and let things go as they were. And I mean, after the crash, he gets airlifted out, the car gets moved into a garage or scrapped if it's that bad.
Well,
Probably.
this one, I think Senna's car actually got, after it was actually done the investigation, got crushed, turned into a bean cans.
Well, I imagine the amount of publicity it would have got, a lot of people trying to see it, or maybe the amount of trauma with that car. They just didn't want it to be a car that people saw and knew, so they just crushed it so that Senna's remembered for what he did in his life and not remembered for his crash. I think that was probably what that was for.
No, absolutely. So let's move on to the next debate point, and this is probably a quite poignant point as well, is the cause of the crash.
Very important.
The courts said the column, Williams said impact, Hill says maybe driver error, and where do you, Lucas Bailey-Grice, stand and land with your opinion on all this? And does your answer here, would it change the legacy of the crash itself?
I think of the way the story was told, I think the man that installed the concrete wall is specifically the concrete worker. No, I think the circuit. I feel like the circuit.
Do you think the circuit is so? So the lead up to the crash, obviously, we had the column that was welded on.
Yeah.
The steering column that was welded on weirdly, and obviously we had all these people around it saying that it was, the impacts, or people saying that it was driver error. You think it was the person who built the circuit?
No, not the person that built the circuit. I think it was the senior leadership team, or whatever you might call it, of the people that run the circuit, and the fact that that concrete wall previously had injuries and crashes happen because it's a long sweeping corner. Well, kind of turn, not really a corner, where people are going really quick and a little bit of error. And we saw, a bit of wing fall underneath the car. The steering went into the wall. We saw the column snap, the bit of welding, and go into the wall. So the fact that these cars, they have these problems. They're racing cars. They're on the cutting edge of technology. They're being welded the morning before the race, sort of thing, with like last minute quick repairs. And even to like modern day, where it's so safe in motorsport, a lot safer than it used to be. These mechanics are still turning around quick jobs, fixing this car up, getting it back on the circuit again.
Yeah.
So these kind of like mechanical infractions are almost, they're gonna happen because you can't be perfectly safe mechanically, can you? Especially with the technology back then. But for me, it's the fact that that wall stood there unprotected with multiple problems, multiple occurrences of injuries and stuff like that happen. I think, me personally, I'm not.
So track safety was more paramount to you.
Track safety. That's, ignore everything I've just said. Track safety. That is what that's what I've been trying to say.
Okay, I think that's a valid point, and I think I wouldn't. I think it's a combination of things. At the end of the day, I think all of them add up to the series of unfortunate events that that led to the death.
So if you were to play a bit of devil's advocate here, what would your opinion be if it wasn't the wall?
It could be the column because it was welded on with a pipe that was a smaller diameter.
So you think it was a bit of shoddy
engineering? Potentially, in my own personal opinion, I think that definitely contributed to it, because if your column that's welded two separate parts, different diameters, if that snaps and you lose your steering, you can't do it. That concrete wall, whether a trampoline or a concrete wall, you're going into that 190 miles an hour, and as Senna went into it 130, actively braking, so he knew obviously something was coming. I think it could be down to the car, the engineering. But then also there is a lot to say for maybe driver error. Maybe as a driver, this notorious corner, maybe you should just take it a bit slower. But then again, that comes back to...
You can't tell that to a professional racing driver.
Exactly, yeah. And that comes back to the point of, well, I'll lose my job, I'll lose my reputation. So I can't take it slow. I have to take it at this speed
Yeah,
and keep
because
building on it.
yeah, on that point, I mean, it escapes me who said this. It was one of the greats of F1, and he's famously quoted for saying, 'cause he got asked why he broke late for a particular corner to like get the win and win the race, maybe win the Grand Prix. And he was quoted as saying, "I knew that he was going to break it. I knew that I was going to break later than him. He's got a wife and kids at home."
Ooh,
To say
it's
like,
cold.
"I've got balls, mate. I'm just going to do it," sort
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. You've got something to live for.
So that, yeah, I guess that shows you the level that these guys were playing at. Like
Yeah,
they don't
exactly.
mess around with how on the ragged edge they're playing.
Top flight sports, isn't it?
Mm.
So the final point we have here, and I could go through and talk all day about the points. I love hearing your side of the story and your opinions on it. But this is where we'll come draw it to a close after this one. So we went 20 years without a driver death. Okay, and then Bianchi in 2014 was it?
Yeah.
Do you reckon, with this specifically within the sport of F1, that danger could ever truly be engineered out as an engineer yourself?
Not 100%. No way. It's like how on cleaning adverts it says kills 99.9% of bacteria.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it does kill 99.9% of bacteria, but they can't legally say 100%.
Yeah. No.
It's like you can't engineer out all of the hazards in the sport because then it will just be soapbox racing where everyone goes around in bubble wrap and everyone's got like, I don't know.
Parachute on the back. They're all doing 10 miles an hour, and even then someone has a heart attack on the track and it's 99.9%.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. Doesn't even need to be part of the motorsport and
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
might still die. But yeah, so things can definitely get a lot safer and things have got a lot safer. I mean, one thing to definitely speak about is the Halo.
Oh, absolutely.
Semi recent, I want to say it was
absolutely
coming up to like a decade ago now.
fundamental point of driving. And some drivers complain about the lack of visibility now with a Halo, but apparently you just get used to it. And it's
But
you'd rather have it than not.
I was gonna say I'd take a lack of visibility over a lack of a neck.
Yeah.
Because there was a multitude of different injuries from there not being a halo, from things kind of coming at the driver straight on. Like there was an incident where a coil spring fell off the car, one of the F1 cars.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, and then all you see, I mean, this was filmed on the car, and the coil spring hits the driver behind it in the head, knocks him out. Again, it escapes me who it is, but I think it's one of the greats again, Schumacher or someone. And instead of going around a corner, they just fly straight over the gravel into the tyre wall. But tyre wall over the gravel slowed them down a lot. It was a lot safer for a crash than
exactly
a concrete wall at 190 miles an hour.
Well, yeah, good point. I mean, I don't think I can be adding any to that. And I think it would be impossible to argue the point that it can be engineered out. I think that's very, like you say, you can wrap it up in as much bull wrap as you want. It's still F1 and it's still a car traveling at up to 250 miles an hour. Yeah. And it's on a track where there is walls because you need to protect the surrounding environment and the people that are coming to watch. So, no, you can't.
I mean, also at the same time, it's the fact that part of the cutting edge technology side is trying to get the cars as quick as they possibly can within the rules somewhat. I mean, they try and break the rules every time. But then part of the cutting edge technology is also the safety of the car. So it's kind of like a race within the race of who's the quickest, and then safety comes in. Yeah. Who's the quickest again? Who's safe? Who's the quickest? Who's safe?
Yeah, exactly. It's building on each other and learning. I suppose that's the beautiful thing about being human, is learning experiences and building up to something that's incredible. And now, as sort of someone who's not particularly a big F1 fan, I could certainly sit down and watch the last couple of laps of F1 and watch people hammering it at 200, 300 miles an hour, however quick they go. It's definitely a fascinating sport. Maybe something I personally need to do a bit of research into in terms of getting into it. I don't know about yourself. Are you big into F1?
Not the sport as per se, but I like the backgrounds, the kind of, like you say about telling the story, it's kind of like the repercussions of what F1 does. Like, for instance, all the drivers on the road that have a turbocharged car, most people do. That came from F1 turbochargers.
Wow.
ABS systems, braking systems, that came from F1. Regenerative braking, charging the battery, that came from F1 as well. So lots of things.
It just
Technology that come from motorsport. Because some people say, oh well, you just your car's going around a circuit. What's the point? You're just wasting fuel for your global warming, blah, blah, blah. But the technological advancements.
Yeah, I'll push back on the global warming point, but carry on with the conversation there.
Yeah, the technological advancements really shine and really benefit everyone else that maybe aren't into F1. So
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I think people do try and make it as safe as possible at the end of the day, and I think it is a benefit. It's like people saying, "Oh, why'd you send people into space?" It's because we learn a lot about things
exactly
in space. They come up with new medicines. They come up with new technology. They come up with new physical materials, etc. It's an important step to develop humanity into being a more well versed and well known species.
intelligent.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, for the greater good, I guess.
It's all swings and roundabouts.
Exactly. And it's a bit of entertainment as well. And people need entertainment, especially in hard and trying times as the world is plunging into at the minute.
36% rise in beers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's trying times.
That is very trying times. Whole £1.50 per beer.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
exactly. Overnight, that's if you're buying rounds, that's an expensive few rounds.
Oh yeah.
That brings us to a close on the reflections, on the debate, on the story as a whole.
Yeah.
I'll let you outro to the people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was quite a down and harrowing story, but I feel like it's a story that quite a lot of people know. Maybe some people don't know it, but I think it, again, like all of the stories, it sheds some nice light on this kind of side of things, and
also a nice,
why these things are important as well.
Memoir to the people who suffered in the. Hopefully, it brings some, further respect to their names and informs people who may have not known, younger listeners who listen to this may have not known about before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you enjoyed that story and want to hear of any others, we've got a load of episodes out. You can feel free to have a watch of them. If you're not into beer, then feel free to click to one of those now and have a look. Maybe look at our other social medias, our other YouTube channel. We've got a lot of stuff out there. So leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about it, because we always read them. We're nosy about how people think about us. But no further ado. If you're a beer enjoyer, a beer connoisseur like us, we'll see you in a second.
See you in a sec.
And here we are again, in the beer corner, with a beer, this time, in quotes. You can have about 50 of these beers and still drive.
Yes, that's because it is an alcohol-free Guinness.
It is a Guinness Zero, not quite, a full fat Guinness, semi-skim Guinness.
That looks beautifully cold though, does it not?
It's fresh out the fridge, is it not?
Yeah, and it's been sat there for some time.
I mean, almost. Worth checking the old best before. Oh, it doesn't even have. Oh, that does. Best before. Do you want to guess the best before?
February 2027.
This one has a day on it as well, if you want to guess the day.
15th of February 2027.
27th of December this year.
Oh, that's quite quick. I didn't realise that they went out of date so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, give it 6 months.
Is it all from your home?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not been sitting there for that long. I don't want to be the guy that has out-of-date beers.
No, absolutely.
Just once.
It's just a one-time thing. And that was my beer anyway. I think I left it at yours, didn't I?
Yeah, so what? I mean, before even tasting it, what do you know? What do you think about the Guinness Zero?
I think with Guinness, obviously a full fat Guinness, alcohol full Guinness, the taste difference is much better. But saying that, I think because Guinness, in just the way it is, it's creamy, foamy, you can still get that flavour profile in an alcohol-free beer, or an alcohol-free Guinness. I'm looking forward to trying this. I don't think I've ever had a. Yes, I have had a Guinness Zero from a tap at a pub, though. Never from a can.
Yeah, so this is going to be a can review, because all we can really do until we install a tap here, which would be amazing.
I'll get onto that.
We only do cans, but I mean, what people say about the Guinness Zero in comparison to the zeros of other brands and lagers and ciders and such, is that Guinness is like one of the only ones that comes very close to the taste of what it should be. Because you get like a alcohol-free cider, which arguably that's just squash. That's like Robinson's.
Yeah, it's apple juice, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty well. So, and lagers and such, I mean, they don't really have that much in the way of good reviews, but the Guinness, because it has that creamier profile, people think it's a lot better in the zero range. And I mean, it's kind of arguably on topic with what we've been talking about, kind of like motorsport being at the top of your game. You can still be on the top of your game after having a few of these.
I like that link. That's
there we go. I mean, it's
thinking on your feet. Do we have to? Is there a special technique to open these up? Do you have to shake it? Do you have to do anything? How does it work with the Guinness can? Because they've got a little ball in, haven't they?
I forgot about that. The Guinness drinkers of the world are going to be watching this and
Hating
critiquing
us,
the way
yeah.
that because some people, they open it and they just dump it straight in the glass.
Yeah.
Upside down.
Yeah.
But we can't really do that because we're not dumping the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to have to pour it. I mean, I'm going to shoddy pour it anyway, but you've let
That's
it settle.
fine.
So what we're going to do, gonna do the open, gonna do the pour, and then we're going to have to talk about it because it's going to have to settle for a little bit.
That's fine. We can
So,
definitely talk.
if you
some
really
settle.
want to talk. I don't know if you're a
Oh,
talking kind of
God.
person.
Ugh, hate talking. Hate it. Obviously.
Right, here we go.
Whoa. What went on
That's
there?
new.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be like the because it's got the nitrous ball in it.
Mm,
If you know about the nitrous ball,
we know about the nitrous ball.
um,
One ball.
it'd be a bit of the juiciness of the noise to that. So there's a fruity little number for you
Yeah.
if you want that
Sure.
one, or do you want this one? I mean,
I don't mind. So I'll have
We'll-
whatever.
we're easy here.
We'll just let it settle. I mean, look at the goldenness shining through.
It's espresso.
This one, you can probably see this one a little better.
Yeah, that's gone straight through. I mean, it takes a bit longer for the taller glass.
Wow. Wow. I love a Guinness, man. I love it. I think Guinness is up there. It's my second favourite beer of all time.
Second favourite, yeah.
All time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when you go to a bar, when you're out with your mates, as we talk about, when you have a beer, whenever you have a beer. For me, and I feel like for you as well, if Guinness on tap,
We go there.
the conversation beer of choice is a Guinness.
We always go. In fact, I don't think we've been to a pub recently, even in the height of, summer as it is
Summer,
now. We go for a Guinness because when we went to watch the football recently, I think we
Yep.
both had a Guinness in
Yep.
hand. Everyone else was on the cruise
I went
campo,
straight in the
etc.
bar. I guess you lot were already watching the game, and I kind of came in a bit late. Went to the bar. I was like, I know exactly what I'm having. Guinness. CTU boys with a Guinness in hand,
Yes.
already prepared. But yeah, I mean, me personally, it's kind of like a go straight for the Guinness.
It's reliable.
Yeah,
You know what you're getting from most places, unless they're absolutely disgusting, never clean their
like
lines.
a warm Guinness. That's what will put you off.
Oh, that'll put me off. with terribly clean lines, but no, Guinness is my second favourite also. I think we know what the favourite is.
Oh, we do. Of course we do.
Have they settled enough for your liking?
I think we have plenty.
Are we going for an old chin?
I think we are.
Chin?
So let's see how this one is. She's a Guinness.
You could definitely taste the Guinness. It just feels quite watered down.
It feels flatter, doesn't it? It's not
Feels
got that
flatter.
buzz
But maybe off a tap, Guinness Zero could be different.
from the experience you've had before.
Maybe it could be different.
I mean, me personally, flavour-wise,
It's there.
love this.
It's there.
Especially if I'm an amount of time where I don't want to be drinking because of health reasons, I don't know. Definitely not religious reasons, but any other reason that I won't be drinking, then this is an easy go-to because it's got the lovely, lovely flavour that we all know, but just not that buzz. That's the thing.
It's a little bit flat for my liking. It doesn't have the pizzazz that normal Guinness does.
Yeah, the wow.
Still tastes good though. But I think it might be the lowest ranked beer I'm going to give on this show so far.
I mean, you can't really argue with that, seeing as it's not really a beer.
We'll preface this again by saying Guinness is my second favourite all time. If we had a Guinness on a tap here, a normal Guinness, I would rank that a 9.9 out of 10.
Right,
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm sorry, Guinness, I don't know. I think it'll be a different story. However, I digress. I'll let you give your rating first.
You let
as
me
we
go
normally
first.
normally we do on the show. You go for the rating first.
Right. So, as you say, it's a bit upsetting because I love a Guinness.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of marks that have got to be taken off purely because it's just not got that buzz in it.
Hmm.
It's not got that feeling that a beer gives you. It won't let the conversation flow when you've had a few of them. But the flavours are there still. The flavours are still there. So I don't know. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on this one.
Unless you want me to go first, I've got a number in my head straight away.
Okay, well, if you got a number, go
If you're
ahead.
more than happy. I'm sorry, Guinness. If it was a normal Guinness, I'd give it 9.9, as you know. I'm giving this a 6.
A 6.
Yeah. It's just, I don't think I'll drink the rest of that.
Do you know what's funny?
What?
As you were alluding to the number, I came up with a number in my head, and it's lower than a 6.
Go on.
Because we've had a 6 before, and that's because we based it off the fact that it was sort of like a default beer plus a little bit of premium in that as well. I feel like this, it's like pretty average because it's
You going 5?
lovely flavour. I'm gonna say 5.5. It's just a little bit of edge on the what's it, the flavour side, but the fact that it's just not, it's a little bit more flat, like watered down, as you say. So
I think, yeah. In fact, I'm inclined to go 5.5 with you. I think that's a pretty convincing argument to do it. And also the fact that is, I probably won't drink the rest of that.
You silly man, because I am.
You can have by all means have the rest of that. But it just isn't the same. It makes me miss a Guinness.
All right.
It makes me want to go to the pub now and just have a Guinness to reconcile my feelings.
That almost dips it below the default because it's making you realise what you haven't got.
No, but then also I take into fact the heritage, my personal relationship with the brand, just how good Guinness is on a whole and how it normally performs. And as you say, you said the flavours are there.
Yeah.
The flavours are at the back end. Once you've got past that initial, it's flat, it's watery, you do get the pop.
Yeah.
A slight pop on the back end, which tastes like a Guinness. You've got the irony taste coming through as well. And that's
a little bit like lingering in the throat, sort of.
That's what takes it above an average of a 5 for me.
Yeah.
But as you say, I think I'm gonna have to join your score and go 5.5. Average it out of 5.5.
Yeah. A new low score that we've hit, but who would have thought? Because it's not really a beer.
No. Yeah. Stout.
But,
an alcohol-free stout.
Yeah.
I think now we need to try like Murphy's and all those other stouts on the market. I've never had
to kind of compare.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't think I have either.
Yeah, maybe that's one for the next episode.
We'll have to do maybe like a duel, a battle. We've got 2 in.
Yeah.
And we taste one from each.
Ooh.
See which one.
Maybe that's a special episode. Maybe that's episode 10.
The Beer World Cup. Hang on.
Whoa.
Are we brainstorming?
I'm getting you with the idea here. I think that'd be a really good idea.
Yeah.
Little bracket system.
These might all be things to come. Maybe we'll just get pissed one night.
But we need Jubel Peach and Guinness to be on opposite ends to see if they come together and fight. But yeah, just have 2 beers at a time and double barrel.
Or just a whole lot. One evening.
Oh.
Maybe like a Christmas special, 1 year special. I don't know. Who sees?
And we just get absolutely hammered. That'd be a good idea. That's a cool idea.
Hopefully, you'll be there to see this all envelope come out and see these developments come up. Because I mean, you're just along for the ride. We're the ones driving down the road.
Yeah.
So
exactly. One thing we haven't checked on the back of the can.
AB InBev.
Is it?
No, I haven't seen.
No. Brewed in Ireland. It's actually brewed in Ireland.
Oh, right, yeah.
St James Gate, Dublin, distributed by Guinness & Co, obviously, as we would expect. But when are AB InBev going to get their hands on every beer brand across the world?
That's another thing that we're learning, the fact that AB InBev have a lot of their paws on all the different brands.
So, contains not more than alcohol of 0.05% volume. So it's
0.05?
Yeah.
I thought even below 0.5 is deemed low and no.
Yeah, and this is 0.05.
Because even at 0.5, you can have as many as you want, and you'll probably die of drowning before you get drunk.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's 5.5. I'm very happy with the scores.
Yeah, still get to have one that's below the default one that we're not happy with. Because me personally, I'm still happy with that. It's just like you say, you don't know. You do know what you're missing out on.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, that wraps it up for the episode. Thank you guys very much for joining us on this one. It's been, a quite harrowing story, and then also quite harrowing beer review.
Well, yeah.
Go check out all the socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We have a lot more episodes behind this now because it's episode 7. So check out all the previous episodes. Drop a like, subscribe, listen to us on the podcasting platform as well. They'll be out on there. And we hope you guys enjoyed. We hope to see you in the next one.